I wasn't planning on seeing the new James Gunn Superman. It's just one of those things that clearly was a like FOMO marketing campaign. And I covered it pretty early, showing that on X, when you post the exact same thing, and I posted back to back within 30 seconds of each other, Superman is a great movie and not woke, and Superman is a woke disaster. That Superman is a great movie and not woke would actually go to get about 30 times the engagement of the other, all things being equal. The algorithm is promoting people saying this is fantastic, and I just don't believe anything on social media anymore. Now that you see this kind of stuff happening, I think that the like Warner Brothers pays for the algorithm to push the positive content. I mean, this has been something we've seen stuff like this happen a lot of times, and so I just never buy into the hype, and it went pretty far. This hyping everywhere. You had to like this movie. You had to like this movie, and I'm gonna lose followers over this movie review right now because it's so like people can't even handle like people talking about a movie review like in their honest opinion anymore. But whatever, it is what it is. So I actually, my wife was like, "Hey, let's see a movie," and I'm like, "Okay." And I was kind of shamed. I was debating between this and F1, which I should have saw F1. My kids say that was awesome. And I was kind of shamed. Like Tom from Midnight's Edge, I'll call you out right now, was like, "You can't criticize this movie without seeing it. How do you know?" And I kind of was shamed into like choosing this movie because of that. And gosh, everything I was scared about this movie being turned out to be exactly spot on. This was a absolute train wreck of a film. Now, my conclusion is going to surprise you. So wait till the end. Actually, watch this review. Don't just get angry in the comments right now. Because this is a weird dichotomy of what's going on right now. So let's talk about the Superman movie right now. And please hit the like and subscribe button. Join us as we talk about all things in comics. I'm a professional comic writer, so I come at it from a writing perspective. That's what I do. And if you like my thoughts on stories, you can enjoy my comics on my Substack here. This is a way to read it absolutely free. Flying Sparks, which is my kind of older books. But I get you in on this here, and of course you sign up, and there's exclusive comics too. If you want to support the channel, support my artistic stuff that I'm doing here, you can do this as well. We have 2 exclusive comics that we post on here and on Subscribestar that are really good, and people need to be getting on this. So sign up here in the description below. Thanks, guys, for being here. Let's get into this review of James Gunn's Superman. So it started out with like Superman getting his butt kicked. Which, is not a bad way to start things out. I've done this before, and actually Flying Sparks was the same setup on this level. The Metagirl's getting her butt kicked to start out, and what I'm showing is she's not an established hero. This is quite the opposite, though. Superman is an established hero in this, and there's so much about this movie. It's like it's so all over the map. It's very, very difficult to organize my thoughts on this, but I'm going to start out just with the beginning. And he gets dragged to his Fortress of Solitude. So you see some things, and there's a couple things that get established here. One, Crypto can help save the day, so that's going to be foreshadowing that. And then on top of it, the Fortress of Solitude, the yellow sun is a big deal. Superman, healing pretty quickly from that's a big deal. And there's these like robot things in there that also get established that matter later on in the movie as well. And so Lex Luthor, meanwhile, is sending out a super team of villains to go out and find this location, and he's actually using the fight as Superman as a distraction, which he does, all the way through the movie. And so it's hard to talk about the main plot of this because James Gunn really just throws in so many concepts over and over and over again that like he's clearly establishing an MCU-style universe with an ensemble cast. This isn't a Superman movie. And as it goes on, it becomes very clear that it's not a Superman movie, and it's just about that. And this is the problem with the MCU that's so exhausting when you watch all of these things. You could tell the movies are not made for their movie's sake. They're made for establishing the universe to set up phase 2 of the movie structure of the thing so that they can have an Avengers movie that it's all going to spin into this, which is then going to tie into this. And it's like, I just want to watch a movie. And so that's my first criticism of this immediately. This is not a Superman movie. So even though it's labeled Superman movie, they should have called it Mr. Terrific's Justice Gang is really what the title should have been for this movie. But of course that wouldn't have sold, so that's why they didn't do that, right? And that's really what this entire movie was. So it gets really weird, and even though they play the Superman theme like from Christopher Reeve, I'm trying to find better pictures of this here, through the entire thing, and they, you see him going around and the like, and flying, and they do at different points, like whenever he's in a fight, Superman's usually losing these fights and not really doing much himself, and that is a big problem. When you have a protagonist in a movie, especially like on the level of Superman, you shouldn't have Superman not really saving the day. And Superman doesn't really save the day in this entire movie. And it's like, it's a disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. And the people are disappointed in him and the like. And yeah, there's heavy political messaging in this. Everybody who's going, it's not woke, is out of their minds. But we'll get into that in a moment too. So it starts out with that like action scene. Then he goes back, and he has this weird, like, 10-minute, like, thing with his relationship of Clark Kent and Lois Lane, where she's, like, they start a little fight over, like, she's not sure what he's doing as Superman is legit, and that causes him to have self-doubt and all that, because he went and basically off-screen, again, this isn't shown, so it's like he doesn't do anything. He stopped a war between Israel and Palestine, whatever the countries are called, and then saved the Palestinians. I don't remember their actual names. It was like Bavarians or something ridiculous, but it was Israel and Palestine. It was very clear. And they were very much white Jewish people in Israel, not Israel, and very much brown Palestinian people who like don't have technology and are poor and the like in Palestine, not Palestine. It was very painfully over the top. Okay. So this like, it's not political, it's just fun. The nonsense. This was a highly, highly political movie in this front. And Lois, questions him over what he's doing with this, and he gets kind of mad about it. And actually, this is actually a nice part of the movie, even though it's kind of slow. It's character moments and all that. It is good character moments at this point. And so this is where I'm going to like deviate from, it's just bad. I'm not going to do that here. We're nuanced on this channel. We talk about things from the writing perspective. They actually build the relationship dynamic very, very well. He storms out, and that's normal in a couple argument for storming out. And Lois, says, I'm not very good at relationships. This was a big mistake, and is like considering flouncing on the relationship. This is very much like a real couple's argument that you'd see. And so pretty nicely done on that level. Also, I mentioned the crypto part at the beginning. The dog stuff is really funny and cute and fun. And while James Gunn, part of this problem with this movie is it's super serious at points, it's super comedic at points and farcical, and so it's like the tone just is never consistent across the whole thing. I enjoyed the dog parts, and I thought the dog was hilarious and great. The best part, crypto was the best part of the movie, hands down. So then it goes along, and like we see some like fights going on. They're making distractions for Superman while Lex makes his master plans. And that's when the Justice Gang kind of shows up. And the Justice Gang actually solves the crisis. Superman does not. He just fights and doesn't do very well against the monster. And then Mr. Terrific, the shiny black guy, who's better than everybody else and smarter than everybody else, saves the day. And it's like, okay. And then you start to kind of notice this like pattern again in this. Like the shiny black guy is just better than everybody else. The Latina girl, hot girl, is just she's snarky and powerful and she never really does anything wrong. And then Guy Gardner, the white guy, is kind of just an a-hole. And it's like, okay. And Superman doesn't win, but this guy does. And then when Superman does get crushed into the pavement, you start to notice a pattern as well. The people who love him and want to hold him up and like are inspired by him are like the falafel Persian guy immigrant, or the young black girl, or in everything's like a brown person immigrant who's very much like saying, you're our ideal, right? And it's like, So when James Gunn went out and gave that interview about immigration, and a lot of people on the right wing said it was fake. It was the media trying to tear down this movie. It was incredibly, the entire theme of this entire movie was that. In the background, again, a giant leftist propaganda piece that was in the background of this entire movie that a lot of people are completely ignoring on this, okay? And so that's there. And so far, we're got a monster that Superman can't beat. We got the main thing where he's got his butt kicked at the beginning of it. And we've got Lex Luthor making his schemes. And Mr. Terrific's better than everybody else, okay? So that's where we're at. Superman then gets captured by the government after they decide to take him in, and he gets moved to a pocket dimension by Lex Luthor. Now, there were a bunch of rumors at the beginning of this saying that there was a hashtag super shit moment where they were talking about that in the movie, and it turned out to be true. They said it was false at the time, and as you get into this, you realize, wait a minute, Lex Luthor is a stand-in for Elon Musk. And as he shows his pocket dimension where he's keeping Superman without sun and keeping him under kryptonite, he spends probably 30 minutes out of the movie in this prison. It's quite a bit of it. And not doing anything, right? While the other diversity Justice Gang goes around and searches for him. It's their movie again, right? After they beat the monster, then Superman has a conversation with Lois Lane while they're fighting in the background, saying they've got it handled. So again, it's their movie again. Then he goes and gets into prison, and they have to search for him. It's the Justice Gang movie. It's not Mr. Terrific's Justice Gang is what this should have been called again. And it's clearly a stand-in for Elon Musk as they keep talking about social media and how Superman is not being loved in social media, and there's hashtag super shit. And it turns out Lex Luthor has this like gang of monkeys in his universe actually programming these tweets to make him mad. And so this is a couple of things. One, it's attacking Elon Musk and like Twitter and the like, and claiming that's all like a fake thing. Number two, James Gunn goes pretty mask off in this, where at this point you realize Superman is just a self-insert for James Gunn. Lex Luthor is, of course, Elon Musk and Twitter. And Lex Luthor literally calls Superman a groomer in this, hearkening back to the James Gunn tweets that got him, of course, removed from Guardians of the Galaxy temporarily because he made some creepy tweets about kid diddling and things like that. And so, like, he's very, very mad and self-inserted his little groomer thing. The bad guy's the one who calls him a groomer. And it's like, oh, and I'm just imprisoned. I'm just trying to do the right thing, and nobody's paying attention and notices I'm the real one. This is a self-insert movie. So now we've got Elon Musk bad. We've got Israel-Palestine conflict. We've got all the brown people, immigrants, love Superman, and they're the ones who believe in him. We've got Mr. Terrific, the black guy who's better than everybody else and smarter than everybody else. It's a highly crazy, over-the-top political movie, and because James Gunn kind of weaves it in and doesn't just like slap, it's not like a Marvel movie where they've like got, the black girl replacing Iron Man and like she's the main character and the named character. And then she's got a transgender driver who's making out with another dude. Like, I mean, they do those in the Marvel movies and they're very like, they're so over the top. It's like, oh, this is the propaganda I hate. And this is what the warning should be about propaganda. This is propaganda. And it's effective propaganda because people are going and seeing this movie and saying it's fine and it's good on the conservative side. And it's like, this is a crazy leftist agitator movie. But because James Gunn didn't like slap two men making out in front of you, you just go, it's not that woke. Because you've been, of course, pushed so far by the Marvel movies that this seems like a dial back from that, even though all of this is in the background of this entire thing. All right? So, again, the Lois Superman relationship is pretty good. There's a next part of this, Jimmy Olsen and, Jimmy Olsen. Who is it? That's this guy here. Him and Lex Luthor's girlfriend, like, she really likes Jimmy Olsen better than Lex Luthor, which is ridiculous, but it is funny. And it's entertaining. And again, like, the humor moments are pretty funny. Like, the dog's funny. Green Lantern's like humor's funny. This is funny, but it does detract from this film that's like the world's going to end. It's like, well, then you don't take that seriously because of the tone changes here. But this was a really good plot line where Lex's girlfriend's taking selfies and she acts like a complete narcissist weirdo, and Jimmy Olsen doesn't really want to be around her because she's obnoxious. Very funny too and true. And yet she is willing to trade the information to like help Superman because she knows where he's at. If he'll spend some time with her. Very, very funny stuff. Entertaining plot line right here. This is a good plot line again. And then they find Superman, Mr. Terrific, and Lois Lane rescue him, right? And that's the main plot point of the movie. And then there's this giant battle, and it turns out that like Lex Luthor's guy is a clone of Superman. and then he's got another strong female gal in it as well, who's fighting as well. And again, as this all goes along, and the main problem is that like there's this pocket dimension ripping apart reality. Mr. Terrific's working on that, while Superman's just like kind of fighting and fighting his clone, like as a distraction and not doing much towards the overall plot. So Mr. Terrific solves the plot, saves the day, and then Superman rolls in and then like brings Lex Luthor to justice because yeah, that's it. And the dog actually attacks Lex Luthor, which is pretty funny. Now, so this movie is not a Superman movie at this juncture, right? And so Superman didn't actually have the main plot and did not do anything. He was kind of just like the background character as part of the team, where Mr. Terrific was the real protagonist and hero. Even though he didn't get quite as much screen time, that was the case. And it's like, this is a jumbled mess of writing. And it's easy to solve. All you have to do is take out the whole Justice Gang plot, have Lex Luthor make a Superman clone, have that clone attack Superman and like kind of ruin Superman's lives and things like that, and then Superman beats him and then finds out, and Lois Lane investigates the whole corruption as a reporter, and then the two of them really solve the day. If they would have done this, it would have been a simpler movie. It would have been a tighter movie. It would have been way better writing. But because it's all over the map and he's trying to reference all these things, he referenced Peacemaker, the HBO show. He's referencing Supergirl that's coming out as another movie. It feels like that jumbled MCU crap again. That's exactly the case here. Now, there's a couple more woke moments in this. When they go to that big baseball stadium and have that big fight that's in the trailers and the like, there is a pride flag in the background that again, just in the background that's showing at you. And it's the Metropolis meteors, right? It says meteors are for everyone, and the letters are all done in pride logo themes, right? And so this is again a leftist talking point that's in the background that you just see real quick, and you're not supposed to really think about it, but it starts programming people, right? And that's what propaganda is. And then there's the final propaganda moment, which is when there's the ultimate deal between Lex Luthor and Superman. And Lex Luthor starts going, "You're an alien. You're a piece of S alien." And Superman goes into this speech where he's like, "I'm just a hard-working man taking one step in front of myself." And this is the all immigrants are hard workers trope, and we should welcome all of our immigrants trope to end the film. And that is the final moment. After all the little immigrants in the background were the only ones who believed in Superman, he's really the archetype, and that's and then only mean people like Elon Musk would ever want to curtail immigration to America, right? And then of course the Justice Gang rescues all the Palestinians from the Israelites. I mean the Bavaria or whatever's, and so that's what's going on, and so it's a big political mess with like uber political messaging on top of political messaging, and then like it's just a jumbled mess of a movie with way too much trying to be shoved in for different things. Now after this, when they actually have the climax, and he sees Lois again, they have this beautiful kiss scene and all this where they resolve their relationship. Superman gets the girl. It's really nice. This is a wonderful point in the movie. Again, like I said, there's moments in this. There's Crypto the super dog. There's like, the whole like, oh, his clone. That's a pretty neat thing that Lex Luthor did. Like he made a clone who was dumber, who's controlling through things. Cool concepts in there. There's like little nuggets of like, this could have been really, really well done if they would have simplified it, and if they would have made Superman the real protagonist of this, and if they would have left out the political messaging. You could have had like the perfect Superman movie, and it's really just and great casting. These people all were great. David Cordswet did a great job. He felt like Clark Kent. She feels like Lois Lane. Jimmy Olsen feels like Jimmy Olsen. I mean that's all really good stuff right there for the core cast of Superman. Unfortunately, Lex Luthor's fine, little effeminate, I think, on that level. But he's fine. But beyond that, it's like, okay, well. This movie was just a mess, and it didn't work out, and there were way too many political moments. So it ends with some more dog and robot stuff, which is fun again, and the Fortress of Solitude's fun. It definitely harkens back to like the Silver Agey silly stuff with Superman, which I like. There's a lot of cool little elements of it, and there were fun elements of it too. Like, I mean, I'm going through and weaving through this stuff. There were enough fun elements where you come out of that movie going, it was okay, and. So if you're not analytical and you're not paying attention, A lot of people like this movie because it's like, okay, it was okay. And because all the stuff's really kind of background stuff and they don't beat you over the head with like the type of dialogue that's so overt, it's on top of things. That's why a lot of people are saying, oh, it's not that political, it's not that woke, right? But it really is. It was definitely like the whole thing was centered around the Israel-Palestine conflict. Like I said, Lex was a stand-in for Elon Musk and Twitter, very obviously. James Gunn, that self-insert with the groomer thing was super cringe. I mean, he should never do stuff like that as a writer. And then the immigrant messaging was very, very heavy throughout the entire thing as well. But yes, nice moment here. Good casting. I liked the Lois and Superman moments, and I liked the Jimmy Olsen and Lex Luthor's girlfriend moments. Those were really nice. The Crypto the Superdog moment was pretty good. So it ends up being kind of watchable, even with all this stuff on there. And that's it. So this is a weird dichotomy where there's a lot to hate about this movie, but there's things to like about this movie at the same time. So because he shoves so much in it, it's all over the map. And that's really where it's at. So it's a mid-movie by definition because there's good, there's bad, and it is politically ugly. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Guys, if you like my analysis on writing and the like, you will like my comics, and I hope you'll come check these out. Flying Sparks is really fun, and I have a wonderful story that's very, very tight, and it builds over 15 issues exactly. I'm posting it one day at a time right here for you to read and just enjoy. And thanks for being here and reading. Get on the Substack in the description below. I've got a newsletter as well, and also my own books on a bookstore and Amazon if you want to check out and support the channel. Let me know your thoughts on Superman. We'll be back soon.